Hello there, World of Tankers, I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the T110E4. This Tier 10 American turreted tank destroyer is one of the rarest to find in the Tier 10 matchmaker, about the same chances as finding yourself a WZ-113 GFT, which, as we know, is about slim to none. So I figured, you know what, let's chip into the old ice block, let's talk about the E4, the history that it does have in Blitz, and why it really hasn't received any buffs as it is, and at the same time, does it deserve any buffs coming to it, and I'll be telling you guys if it actually is still a strong tank in the current tier 10 meta. So of course, if you guys do enjoy this type of content, please make sure to slap that subscribe button down below. It really does help out the channel. But without further ado, let's get straight into some battles. Well, it would seem that my alarm clock wanted to go off in the middle of today's recording, and it's pretty much set to sound like a nuclear bomb because I am a very heavy sleeper, so gotta love my luck and the perfect timing of my alarm clock going off right in the middle of recording. But ignoring that, let's get straight into the pros and the cons about the E4. So I'm going to start off with the good things because there actually are two very good things going for it. First of all, it's got a great gun. This is the same type of gun you'd find on, your T110E3. Most of your tier 10 tank destroyers carry very nice guns. Well, this one is not falling short of that. It carries 310 millimeters of standard pen with calibrated on, which is of course enough to get through pretty much everything you are aiming at, even like a Jagdpanzer's cheeks without even premium. So standard pen on this vehicle is fantastic. Not only is the standard pen great, your premium pen at 394 millimeters, oh boy, yeah, you're not going to need to load premium that often, but if you do, you pretty much penetrate not only through the upper plate of a mouse, probably through everything on a mouse, coming out the butt of it. That's how much pen you have on your premium. So this vehicle is very nice on that. And one really nice thing is that because you don't have heat as your premium shell, a 268 may have more heat penetration, but in the contrary, the 268, let's see if we can pen that. There you go, nice HE. Of course, that's a nice thing, by the way, about having a turret, which was the second point on this vehicle. Having a turret, of course, lets you have the flexibility of, just getting an HE in the side of somebody there. And let's finish this poor guy off. Yeah, that's pretty bad for him. But, of course, having a turret gave me the ability to not only get very quickly into position, but also get a nice HE and back up quickly into that Mowry Mark II. But the main thing I was trying to say is that the gun on this vehicle is pretty dang good, as you can see there. We have the M103 side, and we've got his turret's weak spot, it would appear, but also we have his butt. And once again, that is our second high explosive shell of the game here, another 900 damage. You can see that having the HE on this vehicle is something that's very nice. That's why I always run calibrated on my tier 10 tank destroyers. Now, the hull armor is where it becomes a little bit iffy. Well, first of all, let's get a nice pen right on the roof of that M103's turret. Again, that penetration, yeah, it's just amazing how good the pen is. But yeah, talking about the armor, it's based on a T110E5's hull, which is, good when you do think about it. It's able to withstand a lot of stress. People shooting at the upper plate that don't really know the armor profile of this thing are going to bounce a lot of shells on you. And as well, it's actually got a decent amount of hit points. Now, it's not a great amount, but, it's enough to bounce the occasional shell. There you go. You can see right through the turret cheek bouncing a shot, because that guy really doesn't understand the armor profile of the E4. But there's one big weak spot, which I'll show you. I'll actually shoot it just to show you a little bit about it. It is the cupola right there. That cupola is 200 millimeters thick, which means that, yeah, you're not going to be high explosive in it, unless, of course, it is an FV205B183. But on the contrary, yeah, it's really not going to do a great job bouncing the average shell. Thankfully, we're getting some nice shots here. We got one into that VK45, and it looks like that guy's not going to be doing too strong anymore here. So let's push up. I'm actually going to try and take out the enemy opponents. So I'm not going to focus this VK because there's no point for me to do that. Hopefully he doesn't shoot me, which it doesn't look like he's going to be, because I want to deal, of course, with vehicles like this Jagdpanzer here. Again, I'm using my turret. This is an example of where having a turret is very important, because I can pull around this corner, and unlike, this Jagdpanzer where he can't really turn his tank like this, I can use my turret and get to the side of that Jag where he can't really do that whatsoever. So having a turret is really a big advantage in my opinion, and you can see in this game here, I was easily able to rack up a crazy amount of damage. In fact, we're already at the 5,000 marker, which is a ridiculous number when you do think about it. So here we go, we've got the Kampfpanzer right out in the open, and we can get a nice little finishing blow. Oof. That was so close to just nailing that guy right off the map. But you know what? Our girl missed a shot, which means we got at least a second redemption shot here, maybe to finish off the Kampfpanzer. I doubt it, though. This This KPZ is looking a little bit fanatic where he's driving his vehicle. I hope this grill actually finishes him off, because if he doesn't, well, it's going to be another 50 seconds of trying to chase this guy down. But nice shot to the grill. I cannot complain about the first game pulled out in this tank. It showed a lot of the strengths of the vehicle. I was able to flank the enemy and to shove 2 massive high explosive shells right up the enemy team's butt. And, well, you can see that first game, it really showed off with over 5,300 damage pulled out. We actually earned a pretty hefty amount of credits, but overall, you can see that if you play the E4 correctly, it really does show off. And, you know, you couldn't have really done everything I did there with, let's say, an Object 268, because, yeah, maybe the Object 268 has more damage per minute, but one thing it doesn't have is a turret. So you would have to constantly pull out in that vehicle. I probably would have lost a lot more HP having to pull out and shoot the enemy than just using my turret armor, pulling out, snapping them. So it definitely has advantages, and if played in the correct scenarios, does do an excellent job. So first game there was an excellent way to show how well the E4 does work. But of course, let's get stuck into one more game to at least see if we do get stuck in a great game or a bad battle. So once again, another pretty good map for the E4, and we're actually up against an E4 once again. So quite rare to be up against an E4, but I guess the matchmaker is really chugging along here trying to get us in similar games. So as I said, the E4, the biggest issue with the vehicle is actually the cupola on the roof. The other issue is that it doesn't carry a lot of hit points. A lot of people compare this thing to an E100, which I don't think is correct to compare, because this is a full-blown tank destroyer. It's got a very accurate gun, and it's also got a great amount of penetration, where the E100 doesn't really... Oh, I typed it in the wrong chat, because Droodle's big brain. But, the E100 doesn't necessarily have the most penetration. It's not the most accurate tier 10 vehicle. The E4 is meant to be a tank destroyer. It's not this frontline heavy, but you can play it as a frontline heavy, and that's the fun thing, is it has many different roles out there on the battlefield. Now, I'm going to be pushing mine to the side here. We've got the Conqueror off to the distance. Love to get a shot into him, but I want to see what, of course, we can deal with here. So we got the Conqueror right off to the side, and yeah, this guy's going to feel the pain. Now, he does have one of those stupid little pea shooter guns here, which, you know, actually might annoy us, but it's not really going to do much damage here. Can't HE pen him, but again, I'm just going to wiggle the vehicle back and forth, try and bounce the shots, but already lowered him more than half of his HP here, and we're going to continue to do that if we can. Come on, bounce us, you know you want to. Well, I guess he's not going to bounce us. That thing actually has decent pen with that gun. But, yeah, he's going to be struggling quite a bit. There you go. Nice HE in the side of the Conqueror. Again, having that turret just gives you the ability to really get out your damage there. Nice bounce from an APCR shell. I'm not sure what hit us. That appears to be, I'm guessing, oh boy, we've got a lot of vehicles here, actually. But, ooh, max roll. I'm going to use this E75 as armor. Or at least I would love to, because I do not want to be hit by that T110E4 on the enemy team. But here we go. Now we are in the clear. This E75 may hit us, but I doubt he's going to take off the most. And there we go. Another nice tap right into that E75. Not even going to bother to shoot at him. And that was a pretty solid game. Once again, was a very different scenario, of course, as you can see here. Different opponents we were going up against. Come on, bounce the shell. Yes, you can see that armor once again working to a T. And, you know, most vehicles where you won't have that turret. This one, oof, that was a ridiculous shot how that did not penetrate the WT, but you know what? Sometimes you always get your bad share of luck, and I guess this one was a big, bad amount of luck, but we're still going to get our finishing blow. I'm just going to fire an AP into him, to be honest here. There we go. Let's give him a little love tap, maybe. Ah, it's fine. I'm just going to drive away. We've got the E4 off to the distance there. Maybe we can get a shot into that E4. Again, we've already done literally 4,600 damage, and that's kind of crazy when you do think about it once again here. Just to get out that much damage in such a short amount of time. Let's fire the shell. Oh, sadly, it did not penetrate, but can't complain. Again, great game, 4,600 damage. So both of these battles showed that the E4 is a good vehicle if played correctly. Now, we did go up against a stock Conqueror there, like, pretty lucky game, but overall, we did a good job. We bounced some shells, and you can see the E4 is a solid vehicle if you know how to run it correctly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I do think that the cupola should be stripped right off the vehicle. Maybe a couple more hit points, maybe like 2,200. That way it can brawl with some heavy tanks, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, if you enjoyed this, make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.